Oh, hold on one second. I'm trying to catch a gas leak. God damn it! I need help catching this. Who am I gonna call? Ghostbusters, directed by Paul Feig, not Feige. Starring Kristen Wiig, Melissa McCarthy, Kate McKinnon, and Leslie Jones. Alright, so in my research for this review, I came across an IMDb rating of 5.2, which I find completely unacceptable. So I've actually spent the past couple days getting really defensive about this movie because I honestly really, really, really liked it. It's probably the best movie I've seen in theaters since Civil War. Like many people, I didn't like the trailer. I thought the jokes were too juvenile, and it was more of a kids movie than I really thought. But since I wasn't a fan of the original, I tried to come in with no expectations and an open mind, and I was blown away. So I have this problem where I don't like to be late for things. It completely screws up my mind, and I'm just out of it for a while. So because I went to go see this with other people, I was a little bit late, and I was in a bit of a mind fuck. So I actually forgot what movie I was there to see. So I just kind of sat there in my seat, and when the first joke went down, I was like staggered for a second because everyone in the theater laughed, and I was just like, "Oh, I'm here to see a comedy." So from that moment on, I relaxed and felt much better as the movie continued. I laughed at a higher frequency than I do in most television shows. So plot wise, it was an origin story. Aaron Gilbert, Kristen Wiig, which is this right here, in case you can't tell. Kristen Wiig plays a university professor who's up for tenure, but Ed Begley Jr. shows up and alerts her to the fact that a book she wrote when she was younger about the existence of ghosts is now for sale on Amazon and it's spreading around. So she freaks out knowing that it threatens her tenure. She seeks out her former partner, Abby Yates, played by Melissa McCarthy, to rebury the book, but ends up getting re-involved in the paranormal. She ends up encountering a real ghost, freaks out about it, and her boss finds out. She loses her job and ends up ghostbusting full time. Now, I'm not sure what it is critics don't like about it, but I suspect the villain may be a main bone of contention there. His name is Rowan, and his shtick is that he's a super genius who was bullied his whole life because of an affected speech pattern he has. Thus, he creates a device which triggers high-level apparitions to arise from the dead in hopes of bringing about what he calls the fourth cataclysm. And I can understand why he wants to do that, considering the kind of things that go on through my head during my soul-crushing day job. I can kind of relate to that, but I don't see where his actual motivation comes from. What is like making this actually happen? Because I can come up with stuff all day long, but it doesn't mean I'm actually going to get up off my ass and do it. It seems easier to just spend his time watching movies, paying attention to people's facial expressions and all that, and trying his best to mimic them like I do. I mean, we all do it, I assume. But then at the end of the second act or so, he negates his entire reason for doing anything when he accuses the Ghostbusters of having the luxury of never being made fun of, when literally the whole movie, everyone has just shit on them. They have to be like an official fraud. They go in, they fight the ghost, and then the government just tells them, oh, they were faking it. We're going to arrest them. So it's kind of weird that when the line was written for the movie, nobody stopped and said, yeah, this kind of negates our entire villain. We should probably give him a secondary motivation. So I can relate to Rowan, but he seemed dumber than me when he really shouldn't have. Maybe we're just two different dots on the spectrum. And I can't see anyone really having a problem with the acting in it because Kristen Wiig was good. She's very consistent. She was basically doing more or less the same thing from Bridesmaids, which worked. Melissa McCarthy surprised me because up until a couple days ago when I watched Bridesmaids, I had never seen her before. I'd only ever seen her in trailers for stuff like The Boss. That looked terrible. And the trailers all seem to be cut to accentuate how Chris Farley-y she is. And that, I don't like Chris Farley. I don't care. But when I saw Bridesmaids, I realized that I can get her allure. She's funny. She does do a bit of raunchiness, but it's not as overbearing as I was led to believe by, trailers. In Ghostbusters, though, I really liked her. Um, I think since it was more PG, she had to rein it all in. Um, and the babbling in super science was a major plus for me. Leslie Jones also surprised me since I've seen her on SNL in the trailer for this movie. But honestly, she yelled a lot less than I expected. And if you've seen the Naked and Afraid video with Peter Dinklage, you'll understand what I mean. She's just known for yelling a lot. And in this one, she yelled, but she also, I can't just say also, and expect you to know, but you know. But my favorite Ghostbuster was Kate McKinnon's Holtzman because she was just insane. She was like a non sequitur factory. She brought tons of energy, and like everything she had to say had a cadence to it that was like, uh, it was like talking in punk rock, kind of. I don't know if that doesn't make sense. Good, but also try to make it make sense. The funniest part was Chris Hemsworth, though. Um, like in the beginning, I just thought he was just a pretty secretary, basically. Until they're doing the interview, and he just goes in to itch his eye and goes right through his glasses, and then everyone just stops, and Melissa McCarthy's like, "Any reason why you don't have lenses in your glasses?" And he just says, "Oh, they kept getting dirty, so I figured why bother." And I just started laughing, and it was just his dumbness just explodes from there. Somehow they managed to keep that hidden from the marketing team, so it never made it into a trailer, and it was a massive surprise for me. Unless it was in a trailer that I missed or a TV spot or something, I don't watch every trailer for anything. And the fan service for it wasn't gratuitous at all. Maybe it's because I haven't seen Ghostbusters 1 and 2 very many times. Like, I saw it a couple times when I was a kid. I didn't care too much. I know I like the second one better because whenever I think of Ghostbusters, I immediately think of Peter McNichol, the guy coming out of the painting, and the subway full of ectoplasm. But I didn't care when I was a kid. I rewatched them both last year, and they weren't that funny. But it was nice to see everyone from the original Ghostbusters return. Even Harold Ramis made a cameo as a bronze bust. Rick Moranis didn't come, but I don't think anyone expected him to. It would have been really nice for him, but oh well. But Bill Murray had an extended one, which honestly, and I'm kind of ashamed to admit this, but I didn't get it at first. Bill Murray pops up on screen, everyone laughs, and I'm mad at the audience. I'm like, why are you guys just laughing because it's Bill Murray? Because maybe this isn't obvious, but I'm not a crazy big fan of Bill Murray. But then I sat back and it dawned on me. I was like, oh, he was like the most important part of the originals. They had is it Janine or Janice? She was in it. The old secretary. Dan Aykroyd was hilarious in his little bit where he was like, I ain't scared of no ghosts. Ernie Hudson showed up at the end, and honestly, I was a little nervous about that because I thought that maybe he had showed up earlier in the movie, and I'm just racist and didn't notice. But luckily, when he showed up on screen, I instantly recognized him. I laughed. I enjoyed it. It was cool. And then Sigourney Weaver came in like mid-credits. The important thing is that they didn't try to make the same movie, which a lot of people are probably going to accuse them of because I don't remember the plot of the first one. Maybe it was the same. Maybe it was just like the origin. But like they teased certain callbacks like the fire station and then they just pulled back and moved in a different direction. They were going to be in the fire station until they found out what the price was and then they moved into a Chinese restaurant and it was cool. So in conclusion, this is Ghostbusters now. As far as I'm concerned, this is Ghostbusters. Anyone says Ghostbusters, I'm going to assume that they're talking about this. If they feel the need to make another all-male Ghostbusters and ignore this one, then I'm just going to lose all hope for it. I really hope people like this movie. I hope that I hallucinated that 5.2 on IMDb. I just have no way of knowing. I kind of wish that I had watched some reviews so that I could be here defending it point for point. But I didn't want people's opinions to affect me because I have a tendency to just listen to whoever I think is smarter than me. I mean, for good reason. Let's face it, Spice World is one of my favorite movies, so perhaps I have some dubious tastes. I mean, I assume that's not a good movie because I can't find it on Blu-ray. I mean, it might be a great movie and everyone loves it, but I'm just stupid. Please go see this movie. Please give them some money. It worked for me. It worked. I'm a fan now. You see, I wasn't a fan of Ghostbusters before this, and now I'm a fan. How is this not good? It's good. It's good. It has to be good. I'm hallucinating. I'm gonna go because I'm just on a rant right now. I need to get out of here. I'm hot as hell. I've been reduced to my vest and pants now. Oh god, it's like physics are breaking down out there. Thumb up. Good movie. A plus. No, okay. Let's not be hasty. It was still a kid's movie. Not an A plus. It's not winning any Oscars. I get that. I understand. But I am rambling. And nobody's watching this video. Goodbye.